Welcome to Seattle, Washington on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here. Cold and crisp, but I promise you one thing, it's going to be hot in the Bank of America Arena. This one for first place in the Pac-10 Conference as Pac-10 College Hoops, presented by KFC, brings the UCLA Bruins to Seattle to play the Washington Huskies. And here's where we stand on the Pac-10. Bruins and Huskies, 5 up, 1 down. One of them walks out of here with first place in the conference. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, my partner, the coach, Dan Belwamity. And Dan, I think any win on the road is a good win, and UCLA had to withstand a Washington State comeback on Thursday night, but the bottom line is they did it.
Well, they really did. I thought UCLA played great, especially in the second half. So it was a very intense crowd in Pullman. And how about Dragovich? Made 6 threes in the game, so he was outstanding. And Darren Collison was a bit quiet, Barry, most of the game until they needed him late. Then he came down the stretch, made a couple of field goals, a few free throws. Collison broke them down and really made the big plays. So Dragovich early, Collison late. It spells success for UCLA, and they come out of Pullman with a big win.
Yeah, they were up 15 in that ball game into the second half and had to withstand a great Washington State comeback, but the bottom line is, as we said, they did it. Here in Seattle, you and I were here when Washington played USC on Thursday night. USC, yes, they were a man short in Dwight Lewis, but you got to give it up for the Huskies because they not only won the game, they won the game without their big man making a basket.
Well, they did, and of course, that's John Brockman. It was really a live crowd on Thursday night, but how about Justin Detman? Did he do a beautiful job driving to the goal? Detman with a big night, made 11 out of 11 from the free throw line. He made 3 threes. Isaiah Thomas, his backcourt teammate, also allowed the game to come to him and made big scores. But how about Brockman? No field goals, 13 big rebounds, and really a great job by the Huskies to pull out that win.
Yeah, and Lorenzo Romar said he's got a hungry John Brockman on his hands today. He expects he will bounce back with a vengeance. It's a great matchup. Two teams who like to play different tempos. Bruins would like to play it in the 60s if they can. And of course the Huskies, they prefer to play it in the high 70s or the low 80s. So who can dictate tempo is going to go a long way toward deciding who wins. Well, there's no question, but this place is going to be rocking. We're at the Bank of America Arena here in Seattle. A sellout crowd for the second game in a row for the hometown Dogs, and why not? They have an opportunity with a win here today to take over first place in the conference. Here's the way the Bruins will come to the dance. Nikola Dragovich, and Dan talked about it, 6 of 7 beyond the arc on Thursday night. Alfred Aboya, he's going to have to bang bodies on the post with Brockman. Darren Collison, when they need a basket, he's the guy. Josh Shipp, he's the X factor in this game, and the talented freshman, Jrue Holiday. For the Huskies, it'll be Quincy Pondexter with John Brockman. No field goals the last time out. Darnell Gant gets a start. He's a rebounder and a good passer. Isaiah Thompson and Justin Detman in the backcourt. Both can score. Both can handle the ball. Right now, let's take a chance to meet our third member of our team. Here is Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
All right, Coach, you've won 12 out of the last 13 games. What's the biggest reason for your team's success?
I think we're playing better defense, and we're sharing the basketball. We're playing together.
You're now playing for sole possession of first place in the Pac-10 against a tough UCLA team. What's the biggest thing that worries you about them?
We have to be able to score on them. They're a tremendous defensive team.
I know that turnovers were an issue last game. You'd have a discussion with your team about those?
Well, you know, we had been averaging 12 a game in league play going into the last game, so let's just hope that was an aberration.
All right, take care of the basketball. Thanks, Coach, for the time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. And there is Lorenzo Romar's counterpart, Ben Howland. And, you know, to talk about what he has done at UCLA, whatever you say, it's an understatement. You can see his record. He's been to the Final Four 3 times in a row. Speaks for itself.
Yeah, it really does. And of course, you know, Ben, the 3-time defending UCLA Bruin Pac-10 champions. And it's already Ben's 6th year at UCLA. And you're right. And Lorenzo should be worried. This is a very good defensive UCLA team led by Darren Collison. And you know, Collison will steal the ball, Barry. He'll get in the open court. So Washington has defeated UCLA 4 consecutive times here in Seattle. Should be a terrific game this afternoon.
Well, I think it's imperative for UCLA to try to get the crowd out of the game. See if they can jump the Huskies early. They're going to try to take some time off the clock on virtually every possession. Of course, they'll take the early break if it's there. This is Collison all the way to the basket, tried to dish, and stepping in front was Gant. That is going to be out of bounds to the Huskies.
And you'll notice that, Barry, all afternoon. The one thing Washington did, they do a beautiful job. Their big men will establish position on all penetration and try to draw the charge.
Pondexter in the lane, blocked by Ship. And here's Collison, 2-on-2. Collison over Thomas. Couldn't get it to go, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Aboya. Maybe a little case of nerves on both sides to start this game. Neither team really settled in quite yet. Now, Gant, they won't guard real closely, although he shoots a fall away, comes up short. Ship with the rebound for the Bruins.
I think Ben Holland will give Gant that shot every time. I mean, this should be an unbelievable guard matchup game. I mean, there's 4 tremendous guards on the floor.
Yeah, quick on quick. This is Aboya working on Brockman with the left hand.
Well, you gotta love that shot. Little left-handed runner in the lane. Nice play by Aboya. Solid, makes the right play. Good defender, hard worker, intense in the middle defensively. Alfred Aboya.
Smart guy, graduated already. Thomas for 3. A little bit short, he had a pretty good look. Holiday with the rebound. Quick outlet to Collison, 3-on-2 again. And Collison picks the dribble up, leaves for the trailer Dragovic. Now Collison again. Ship behind a screen. And that's a 3.
That's the one thing about UCLA. Now, Ship, you know, is a guy that's been semi-quiet the last couple of games. I mean, he's a guy that could break out, give you big shots. They get to Dragovic, but did not get to Ship.
Again, they leave Gant. They'll let him take that shot. And I'm sure they'll let him take it until he makes one. Aboya with the rebound. Bruins have done exactly what we suggested they needed to do, and that is take the crowd out of the game early. Ship drives baseline, cut off by Brockman. Dragovic up top. They'll jump out and guard him. 6 of 7 beyond the arc against Washington State. And they're going to get Dentman on a grab on Collison. Dan, let's take a moment to look at the do's and don'ts. What has to happen, what doesn't have to happen in this game.
All right, Barry, first of all, we're going to take a look at what the Bruins have to do. They got to knock Brockman around a little bit. Don't let him get off. And the other thing, I think it's a 3-point advantage for the crowd here. Keep the crowd out of it for UCLA. Control the tempo. Be the chairman of the boards if you're Washington. And the other thing for the Huskies, they cannot allow Collison to get to the free throw line. He leads the country in free throw shooting. Keep him off the line.
So far doing a great job, working on a shutout.
Got that high screen and roll, and you better show yourself when coming. That was well done. Good job by Brockman. They may get a foul, though. Another foul on Dentman.
That's 2 quick ones on Dentman.
Yeah, Overton's going to come in quickly for Dentman. See, I think it's good defensively to show yourself here and eliminate, to impede that dribble, but then when he comes back, got to do a better job of getting around that screen. Boy.
Drew Holiday working on Overton to the basket.
Boy, Drew Holiday, was that a sensational little left-handed move to the goal? I'll say.
Huskies will keep possession. Huskies almost 3 minutes into this game, 0 for 4.
Yeah, UCLA defending them, but how about Drew Holiday? Don't forget, Barry, a right-hander going left. You know, one of the more heralded players. You know, he's the Gatorade High School Basketball Player of the Year last year. So Drew Holiday, you know, right at the top of all the recruiting lists. And what a nice young man, a quality guy, great family. His brother Justin, of course, plays here at Washington. Just a terrific move to take it to the basket.
Had a lot of trouble getting that in, but Holiday reached in on Brockman. First foul on Giroux. Yeah, the Holiday family on hand.
Oh,
there's Mom. That's Toya. Now, Toya's sitting in the UCLA section. And Sean, the dad, well, he's over in the Washington section. There he is right there. They were at both practices yesterday. Delightful family. Really enjoyed our conversation with them. And first time that the Holiday brothers have ever actually hooked up against each other. Thomas for 3 had a good look, couldn't get it to go, and the rebound going to be off of Holiday, and it'll be Washington ball.
Except in the backyard.
In the backyard, they had many encounters, they said. And there Look at Justin Holiday. We'll see him in a while.
Yeah, he did a great job coming in on Thursday night against the Trojans. I thought he gave big energy when he entered the game.
Overton, the scoop, slotted away. And the follow up and missed by Gant, but he'll go to the line. That was Gooden who knocked that ball away. Gooden is a natural shot blocker.
Well, here's the drive and the penetration, and a good job by Gordon to come over and deflect that ball. So a nice effort. And another young guy, a freshman who can block shots. He's very active, comes in the game early, but he's also an energizer, and he's going to go for every shot. I mean, he'll definitely deflect some shots when it goes all the way to the goal.
Yeah, Drew Gordon, as we said, a natural shot blocker. And he tries to block too many shots sometimes. But he's a freshman.
Well, Lorenzo Wilmar saying at least we're on the board.
Yeah. No field goals yet. But 1-2 for Gant. Holiday with the rebound. Significant, I think, for the Huskies that Denton is going to have to sit for a while.
A good man-to-man, intense pressure by the Huskies, trying to keep the ball in front.
Holiday, they leave him. Went halfway down, came out. Brockman with the rebound. Outlet to Thomas. Thomas leaves for Overton. UCLA doing a great job defensively.
Well, they are, and you know they're going to get off of Gant a little bit. I'm surprised Dragovic is all the way out defending him. I think Brockman's the key guy, Barry. They're going to have to find a way to get it into Brockman. He's being guarded by a freshman in Gordon, and see if he can do a little bit of damage on the interior.
Overton tried to split the two defenders and somehow got away with it. Couldn't get the shot up, though, and here's Gordon ahead of everybody to the basket. Gant fouls him hard.
Gant did one thing correctly, trailing the play. A nice move by Gordon. I thought he did go for the ball. He didn't just grab it. He made an effort here. And then, again, you talk about the defense of UCLA. I mean, that's what's winning the game for him early. And, you know, Gordon's thinking block, but a nice job by Gant to go for the orange as he's taking it all the way to the rim.
The Huskies still without a basket in this game. They trail 7-1. Gordon misses the first. Matthew Bryan Ammoning will come into the Huskies lineup, and Gant will sit. Now, Ammoning gives him a little bit more on the offensive end. Gordon misses them both, but Holiday gives him another chance. Collison misses a three, and a rebound still loose. Overton finally picks it up. Bodies everywhere. You can see the Bruins will come out and defend way beyond the three-point line. This is Bryan Ammoning, lost the handle right in the hands of Collison. It's a race. And that would be Collison. But he missed the shot.
No, should be a goaltend.
That's correct.
No, that's a good call. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They touched the ball on the square. Excellent call by the outside official.
So 15:32 left here in the first half, and the Huskies don't have a bucket. A 9-1 ball game, UCLA over the Huskies. Huskies still looking for their first basket, and there's a good reason for it.
Well, Barry, look at the defensive position by UCLA. Look how they're defending every guy. They have great vision on the ball, and it's really paying off for them. They're jumping screens. Look at guys who are active. Gordon, a great job to deflect it, then get back in the action. Everybody back in. A good job by Dragovic, and that's why UCLA's got this lead. As Gordon couldn't finalize, he did get fouled. So Ben Howland's got to love the way his team has come out on the road and is defending a very good Washington team.
And he's a guy who preaches defense first. That's what they worked on in practice, a good portion of practice yesterday.
Boy, you love that graphic, 0 for 6. And again, I mean, Gordon is like all over the place.
Double dribble this time.
I know it's a good call on the, may have carried it, but Gordon is like super active defensively.
Yeah, he overplayed that pass.
And Barry, remember, UCLA on the road in the Pac-10 Conference, undefeated. They're 4-0 on the road, so that's huge. The Huskies are 3-0 on the road.
Yeah, that's right.
They lost a triple overtime game here to California. They only lost at home.
One of the few entries they've allowed to Brockman, and Brockman makes him finish.
See, I think that's exactly where they have to go. Being guarded by Gordon, he's a younger guy. You've got to find Brockman at the low block. Oh, great defense
saved
there.
by Pondexter to Overton. Great play.
How do you like
Boy,
it?
there's a lot of good defense being played in this game. Overton penetrates, knocked out of bounds off the hands of Dragovic.
One thing I will say, Barry, the officials are letting them play.
Yeah.
Now look at this low post pass, and he's being guarded by a young player, and then Brockman, you know, that's just an excellent move to use the body to go ahead and move. Now, if you're Gordon, you've got to do a better job of getting into Brockman and forcing him a little further away from the goal. They're going to go right back to him again. See, now that's a little further out. That's a better job right there by Drew Gordon.
Drives baseline to the basket.
Except you got to take that baseline away. You got to force him to the middle. How about Brockman?
Well, you know, Ben Holland was telling his players, you mentioned this in the opening, he was telling his players at practice, this is the toughest guy you're going to play this year. And he's showing you why. And another turnover. 3-on-3, Overton all the way.
Quick timeout.
Now Ben Holland, the guy who will use his timeouts when he feels they are necessary. He will not save them.
Well, I think the answer for Washington has been, let's go to Brockman. Gordon's got to take away, he's got to force him back to the middle of the floor. And then Brockman saw the opening, and he's finished twice. And then Vanoy Overton, I thought Collison might try to draw the charge, but Overton, a good little ball fake. And the Huskies have 3 terrific guards. I mean, Detman goes out with 2 fouls, but they don't drop much when Vanoy Overton comes in the game. And don't forget, John Brockman, no field goals on Thursday night. I thought the Trojans did a marvelous job on him. You knew he was hungry. He said, I can't have that happen again.
Well, remember last year when the UCLA Bruins came into this building, they left a 10-point loser, and that's going on. In fact, the last 4 games that these teams have played up here, Washington has won the basketball game. They're a good home team, and one of the, you mentioned a crowd, worth probably more than a basket to them.
I think the crowd here is at least worth 3 to 4 points.
Now they got a Boya back in the ball game, and they're going to get Brockman on a hand check. Michael Roll also in the lineup for UCLA for the first time now. And so too is James Keefe. Oh! This time they'll get Keefe over the top.
Now, Keefe has been very, very productive of late for UCLA. The last 3 games, 6 of 8 from the field. He's a good rebounder, solid defender. And you don't drop much when Keefe's in the game.
They've been dropping outside, guarded by the smaller Boya on him.
They got Brockman.
Yeah, they had him.
They couldn't find him. Well defended.
Drop it down to Brian Amity for the little turnaround. Can't go. Pondexter misses. And Keefe with a rebound. Pondexter had a pretty good look at the rebound, but couldn't quite get it down.
Well, they just got to trap Collison every time he gets it.
And Boya knocks it down. I was going to say that's a shot that I would think the Huskies would let Boya take. Well, they let him take it. He made it. Overton burns it back. Gives to Pondexter easy off the window.
I think Vanoy Overton may have turned an ankle because he's limping coming back down the floor. That's a little too quick. I think although Roll's a terrific shooter. And UCLA don't want to get into a track meet, but the fact is that if you're going to let anybody shoot that shot, it's Roll.
Pondexter going to come out of the ballgame, and for the first time, Justin Holiday will come in. And his brother actually will leave for UCLA, and there you can see him roll that left ankle. But he's going to stay out there.
Got to watch the lob to Roll on the out of bounds. They've got a size advantage. They like to lob it inside.
Well, they left Chip, and Chip makes him pay. Pure shooter.
Good job on the out of bounds. Last time, remember, Barry, they lobbed it inside, and this time they made the adjustment and went to the perimeter player for the 3.
Brian Amity down low, turnaround, won't go. Keith the rebound. Now this is Anderson in the ball game for UCLA as well. From the corner, Ship again, look out. That's 3 threes for him.
I'd say you better close on him.
I'll say.
Ship's got it going.
Back to an 8-point UCLA lead. Thomas working on the freshman Anderson. Freshman on freshman. Thomas with the left hand. How do you like that?
Oh, you've talked a lot about Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah, a freshman here, a guy that had 51 points in a championship game in high school against Franklin, and he's someone that has allowed the game to flow to him. But now I think he feels with Detman out of the game, he's got to make a play, Barry, and he made a left-hander, very quick and active, and you know, arguably the most productive freshman in the Pac-10 conference.
Yeah, well, we're seeing two of the three great freshmen in the Pac-10 in this game. And Thomas is going to come out. Thomas, of course, and Drew Holiday for the Bruins. DeMar DeRozan for USC. Going to be a tough call to pick the freshman of the year this year.
Well, I think if you're Ben Holland, you're going to take a look at Ship again, try to run some screens for him, and he wants the ball.
Ship again with a good look. Not this time. Overton the rebound. And the Huskies push it. Overton on the wing this time. Now Gant. That's Holiday. There we go. Fight for the rebound. The long rebound comes out to Ship. Ship lost the handle, and that's going to be a travel.
No call.
No, they say no. I thought I saw one of the officials call it.
No, I think Ship put the ball on the ground but did a good job to recover. You know what I love about it? Officials are letting them go. They're letting them play here, which is great.
And another turnover as Overton gets on the floor again. And we'll take a timeout. 11-17 left. Up and down game. 17-12. Bruins. So for the Bruins now, it's Anderson, Gordon, Roll, Keith, and Ship. And for the Huskies, Overton, Elston Turner, Gant, Justin Holiday, and Brian Ammoning. That's Brian Ammoning. Underneath, couldn't get it travel. Substitutions now for the Bruins as into the ball game once again comes Nikola Dragovic, and he brings Collison with him, and also in the game for the first time Malcolm Lee, another talented freshman who really hasn't been available to Ben Howland very much. He's been nursing an injury much of the year.
I think the one thing you're seeing with UCLA, Ben Howland, he's substituting a lot more in this game. In the loss to Arizona State, Collison played 42 minutes. A lot of the guys after that game said they wouldn't admit it on the floor, but they were tired. And after a tough game on Thursday night, Ben Howland using his bench. That may be a travel also.
That is on Malcolm Lee. 6th UCLA turnover. It's turnovers really that are keeping the Huskies in the fray here.
Yeah, because they're getting out rebounded. And don't forget, Washington leads the nation in rebound differential at over 11 a game.
Right now, John Brockman not in the ball game. UCLA has already used 10 players, and the Huskies, in fact, have used 9. Liberal substituting for both coaches. Gant down low.
Thought a great pass by Holiday.
Barry Tompkins, Dan Balwamini alongside. We're at the Bank of America Arena here in Seattle. It's a battle for first place in the Pac-10 Conference between the hometown Washington Huskies and the UCLA Bruins, and it's been an intense kind of ball game so far. This is Gordon working on Brian Ammoning. Little jump hook.
Well, Gordon's made an impact in this game. Defensively, and a nice little move inside. And so is Overton. Good to see that he's back. I thought he may have tweaked an ankle earlier in the game. And, of course, Overton's going to play major minutes with Detman picking up 2 fouls.
2 quick fouls. So Dedmon's been on the bench probably for about 7 minutes already. Gordon again down low, working on Brian Ammoning. Not this time, come up short. And Gant tried to save, couldn't. It'll be UCLA ball.
This is a nice little runner in the lane. And again, a left-hander shooting it right-handed. A good move here. Got to get on Ship, and a good move by Holiday to negate Ship from getting that inbound pass. Ship's made 3 threes in the game.
Now come up,
Oh, look at that back door.
Malcolm Lee. Now Collison had an open look for 3, but instead floats it up off the window. It won't go, and the follow is no good by Lee. Great pass that time for Overton to Brian Ammoning, but the return to Overton just dribbles off his hands and out of bounds. And now Lo Romar is going to get John Brockman back in the ball game.
I'm sure Lorenzo just taking Brian Amity, just slow it. He made a great catch in that transition, but let's take our time and let's get some valued possessions. We can ill afford to turn the ball over like we did Thursday night against the Trojans.
So here's, again, 2 more freshmen, Lee and Turner, matched up against one another. Post Lee up on Turner, and Lee can't convert. Gant snatches the rebound. There's Elston Turner, he's open, that's a 2. Let go. A little quick. Collison coming the other way. Look out, 4-on-1.
Slow it down.
And it's Ship, little pass, a little high for him. Ship down low. And they're going to get a foul. And
I think
count the basket.
I think they're going to count. I thought that was a terrific decision by Ship. A, not to travel. B, he makes a great catch. And C, finds a way to score. I think the catch is superb. The foul inside. And look at Ship under control. Boys, he had a big first half for UCLA.
I'll say he's got 11 at the line to try to make it 12. And Overton will leave and Thomas will come back. Dentman, remember, 2 early fouls, has been on the bench since about the 3-minute mark.
You know, I asked Josh Ship, who's a better long-range shooter, you, Joe, or Jaron? His brother Joe, of course, was a great player in California. He says, me, I still think it's Joe. And then Jaron said, well, I'm a pretty good long-range shooter. Jaron's at Arizona State.
There's that great entry pass again from Holiday to Brockman. Brockman with the finish and 1. He is a load.
No, he's a difference maker, certainly inside. And this afternoon, he's getting great looks. They're playing right behind him. Now, I think you may have to adjust that if you're UCLA. But if Brockman backs you down, Barry, and he gets the ball 3 feet from the basket, and you don't double him, forget it. I mean, Brockman's going to either score or he's going to get fouled.
At the line, converts the old-fashioned 3-point play. Back to a 3-point ball game. Brockman with 7. Now you got Bobo Morgan in the ball game for UCLA, so he's the 11th player. Does give you some bulk, bumps off Brockman and puts it in.
Yeah, I thought a very positive move. I think Lorenzo Romar wanted to travel. Looked like to me he may have shuffled a little bit, but Jamison Morgan, how about that? A productive score right away coming in.
Pondexter drew a crowd, scored the basket. Tell you what, this is a high-tempo, intense basketball game. And a foul away from the ball called on Thomas. So we'll jump away. UCLA leads at 24-21. We're going to talk about that guy on Dan's Old School when we come back. Bruins lead it by 3. They've led right from the start. Well, it gives us an opportunity right now to introduce Dan's jacket. And we're talking old school about Bob Hooks Hubregs, and he played back in 1952, 1953, a big-time offensive player.
Yeah, he really did play for Tippy Dye back in those days, and you know, he is still the second leading all-time scorer in Washington history, Barry.
And still a great fan, and right now he is with Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Hello, Bob. It only took him 56 years to find another guy as good as you, huh? To get his jersey retired. Brandon Roy, of course, having his jersey, only the second Washington Husky to have his jersey retired next to yours. Quite an honor for both of you, huh?
Well, especially for Brandon. He's not only a great player, he's a better person, and I'm really proud to have my number up there with his.
And this game, how about this game? This is your kind of game, Bob.
A fantastic game. I tell you, UCLA is tough.
All right.
Tough.
Well,
thank you.
You heard it from Bob first, and he knows a thing or two about basketball, guys.
He sure does. He had, in one season, 1953, he had, what was it, 49?
45.
45, 42.
And 35.
All in one game. In 1953,
yep.
That's a lot of points.
And his nickname, Barry, Bob Hubregs. Hooks. I thought keeping the crowd out of it was pivotal for UCLA, and so far they've done a very good job.
Justin Detman is back in the ballgame, playing with 2 fouls, so he has to be somewhat careful. It's going to be a foul before the shot. Will be a shooting situation, however. So Lorenzo Romarth rolling the dice a little bit here with Justin Detman.
And I think the reason he puts Detman back in the game there, I think he wants to go back to his normal guard combination. He doesn't want to play 1 guard and 4 bigs. Instead, he wants to get that rotation, put a little more pressure on, get the smaller guys in the game. But you're right. You know, when you're in jeopardy with the 2 fouls, like Detman, you don't want to pick up that 3rd foul in the first half.
Detman spent more than 11 minutes on the bench, and Pondexter gets both free throws. Also significant, remember, Washington came into this weekend, starting with Thursday night, 9th in the conference in free throw shooting. They shot it at 82% on Thursday night, and so far today, 5 of 6.
Yeah, they did a great job. They were 32 of 40 on Thursday night, and that one there, Morgan a little bit awkward, couldn't get that one in, and Washington with an open court opportunity.
That's a shot that will get you back on the bench. Pondexter hammered. No, jump ball, and the possession arrow will be the Huskies. Got all ball, they say.
Here on the transition, watch Brockman read the defense. Now they're doubling him, and he does a good job. Looked like there was a lot of leather right there.
I think that was a good call.
Yeah, he did a nice job to find the open guy. Look at Brockman inside against Keith.
Pondexter brings it back out. Now Detman up top.
Well, they're trying to go to Brockman 40 on the other side of the floor if they can just rotate it over there.
And Detman just double clutches all the way to the basket and draws a foul.
That's why they got to have Detman in the game.
Well, you know, Justin Detman was a pure 1 for the first 3 years he was here at Washington. And all of a sudden, when Isaiah Thomas came, they said, I'll tell you what, you go over, you play the 2, just worry about shooting the basketball, which he hadn't done very well in the last couple of years. He did that. He's turned into a different player. Look at his numbers from Thursday.
Look at those free throw numbers, too. He was 11 out of 11, and he made some big threes in the clutch.
Nikola Dragovic comes back into the UCLA lineup, and Keefe will sit. So the Huskies staying in the game at the free throw line, and that's not something I would have thought we would be saying on Saturday. Detman gets them both. 7 of 8. And a 1-point ball game.
Now, you know, Collison is aware that the man guarding him has a couple of fouls. There's a great over the top. Sure just couldn't get it in, and a nice little foul.
Well, that's Gordon again. Gordon very active.
Gordon's above the rim.
Brockman's there for the entry pass. But a good job by Dragovic to prevent it, and Detman just pulls up and sticks it.
Now see if Collison utilizes the dribble, tries to get something going to the goal to pick up the 3rd foul on Detman. You know Collison is really smart, and he understands the game. And he may, if they give him a little clear out, run a two-man game, put it on the floor.
Just what he did. Kicks out for Ship, and they jump out at him. So Ship puts it on the floor. Did everything but finish. Devin 1 on 4. I think he'll wait here. Thomas for 3. Would have given the Huskies their first lead of the ball game. And Pondexter steps in front, goes hard into Chris Roberts, actually, the UCLA radio announcer. There's Chris, and a nice assist by Chris.
Yeah, good assist. The only one he's ever had.
That's right. And didn't miss a word.
No, he did not miss a beat.
You
Still
gotta love
talking.
Look at this. Pondexter going to come out of the game, and Justin Holiday will come back for Washington. Just under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. An intense game. You can see the Bruins still with a rebounding edge. Dragovic, 6 of 7 the other night, not today.
Well, it's all because of Gordon, I think. I mean, you see that rebound advantage. A big factor has been Drew Gordon. And he may have stepped on the end line. He made really a superb effort to get that ball off the iron, but could not retain his balance and out of bounds, and will go to the Huskies.
So once again, the Huskies with an opportunity to take their first lead of the afternoon.
And let's see if they go right here to Brockman. See if they can find John Brockman down around the goal. Now they're going to bring him a little further out. And he traveled. Yeah, he took that little step.
So James Keefe going to come back. Dragovic will leave. Both coaches shuffling a lot of bodies in and out of the game. Now, Lo Romar will answer with Gint, and Brockman will sit.
I think both coaches kind of gearing up for the second half.
Yeah, really.
They know they're going to need their primetime guys in there. So let's substitute freely in the first half. As long as you're close, you can afford to do it.
Here's Holiday. He's got a size advantage on Isaiah Thomas. Collison shook one man, now pulls up for the 3. Comes up short, tight for the rebound. Gordon again. And a great reach in that time by Brian Ammoning, and on the tied up ball. The possession arrow will be UCLA's, but a nice job by Brian Ammoning.
And remember the last time they took the ball out of bounds in this situation, they lobbed the ball inside to Holiday, number 21. And Holiday's right around the goal again. Michael rolls a guy that come off the screen. So you see Holiday right here. See, he's got a size advantage. This time they go different. They go right to Collison and give it back to him. They miss the shot. UCLA's got a variety of out-of-bounds plays with the same set.
They spend a lot of time working on those, too. Detman in the corner. Now he's got a bigger man on him. Mismatch someplace, trying to find it. Kick back this time. Now Thomas steps in all the way. How do you like that? I don't think Thomas thought it was going to be that easy.
I think shooting it may have been an afterthought.
Yeah.
Look at, he's smiling. Said, well, I didn't realize I could do that.
He looked up and suddenly there was nobody there. 1-point game, Bruins. Well, there's no question who the boss is amongst the Washington Huskies. That's Lorenzo Romar, and even the mighty get humbled sometime, eh, Carissa?
That's right. I just saw Coach Romar get up in John Brockman's face after John committed that traveling call, and he says, you cannot travel. And he stomped his foot, kind of stressing the fundamentals. In a game like this, you cannot commit those errors. But of course, he gets in John's face because he is the best. John was awarded the PI Sports Star of the Year award earlier this week, and I had talked to John about the award. I mean, of course, John's been the recipient of many awards, and he said this one was special. He goes, I just thought I was going to get a good dinner. I was literally shocked when they called my name.
Well, I tell you what, he's a high character guy, and you know, you heard Hooks Hubriggs talking about Brandon Roy, what a good human being he is, and you can say the exact same thing about this guy right here.
Yeah, you really can. And Carissa, I want to tell Carissa one thing. Maybe she could tell Coach Romar, overlook it a little bit with Brockman and get him back in the game, which he did.
I'll make sure to relay that message.
Carissa, make sure you kind of tell them that at halftime. Don't take them out too often.
You got it, guys.
Collison going to back it out. Now he tries to drive on Detman. Remember, Detman is playing with the 2 fouls. He got right up on Collison when he picked the dribble up that time.
All right, great defensive set here for Washington. Well, shot clock now. Now you're in trouble.
Nope, they didn't get it off. It sure was a great defensive
set. Yeah, it really was coming out of that timeout. And Ben Holland said, that's fine. This is hang in there. And then Collison, a desperation shot. But really, it was intense man-to-man ball in front of you. Good position by the Huskies.
There's Pondexter up at the elbow now. Drop it down to Brockman. Great delivery by Pondexter. And great job defensively by UCLA, but a foul.
Now, if it's Keefe, Barry, it may be his third, if it is Keefe.
It is. And it is his third.
And Aboya has 2. Keefe has 3.
So I don't think there's any question where the Huskies are going to go. And Brockman, all of a sudden, is lights out at the free throw line.
And Brockman has not been lights out for the year. He's like a 53, 54% free throw shooter, and he was in a slump prior to this weekend. You know, a big one, shooting way under 50% from the line, but shot his free throws well in the last couple of games.
Gets both of these and gives his team the lead for the first time in the ball game. With 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, Huskies on an 8-2 run over the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Both teams are really stepping up defensively.
Yeah, Pondexter has taken the challenge on Ship. And look what he's doing with Ship. They're all over him. Good recognition. Got to go straight up.
Well, gonna get a reach in. Was very close.
Magnificent pass, I thought, by Josh Ship. Look at the double. He brings it down. You got to go straight up on that one. You've got it in there. Take it strong to the goal. The more you gather, the more you're in trouble. And it's been an adventure here for Gordon from the foul line also. I mean, he's a sub 50% free throw shooter.
Missed 2 earlier. Overton incidentally picked up his second foul. And Gordon does get that one. And Isaiah Thomas is going to come back in the lineup. Detman will sit. So Detman did not get himself in any further trouble. About this Washington team, you saw us smiling and kind of jiving on the sidelines, and 1-on-2 for Gordon. Brockman the rebound. They all get along together. They all hang out together, and that's just one of those things. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Some teams have it, some teams don't. And I can tell you the Huskies do.
Well, so does UCLA.
Yes.
Hey, what a guard matchup. I mean, there's like pressure on pressure in this game.
But Overton with the control of the body and puts it in with the right hand and will go to the free throw line. A big-time play.
Cannot overemphasize, Barry, the depth in the backcourt for the Huskies. They've got 3 outstanding players, and Benoit Overton, he's a heck of a player in his own right. Comes off the bench, but automatically when he's in the game, he gives Washington a real lift.
And he will go to the free throw line. Yeah, they have 3 outstanding guards. And you got to give it up to Pondexter, too. And you've made mention of this. He has been guarding Ship for the last several minutes, and he has kept Ship pretty quiet.
And one thing I'll say about Quincy Pondexter, in previous years, he'd be forcing it a little bit if he didn't score right away. Now he's matured. He's dedicating himself on defense and letting the game flow to him.
That was a great move without the ball by Holiday. Count the basket and 1. That's one of the bottom lines. You always talk about that, Coach, moving without the basketball.
Yeah, and recognition when you do have the ball.
He does. Tied at 31. We talked about the Holiday brothers never having played against each other, and even though they're on opposite teams here, they've not been on the floor at the same time tonight either. Wiener by Thomas, count it!
Well, you think you're doing the right thing by forcing him to go right. He's a lefty, and you know UCLA sitting on that left hand. But this is a multi-dimensional, talented young guy. And look at this powerful move to the goal. A little bit of Nate the Great Robinson and Isaiah Thomas. Remember, Nate here doing a nice job. Remember, 5'8", strong, can take it to the basket, and follows on Gordon. It's his third. So Gordon with 3, Keefe with 3, Aboya with 2, and UCLA in jeopardy in the front line in terms of fouls.
Here again, remember the Huskies the other night went to the free throw line. Was it 30 times, I believe?
No, 40.
40.
40. They
It
were
was
30,
one of those round
they were
numbers.
32 of 40, Barry, from the foul line.
Well, they take it to the basket hard. Now it's Justin Holiday who's guarding Collison. Now Holiday and Holiday are on the floor for the first time. Dragovic!
Well, he has really redefined his body, Nikola Dragovic, with really a guy that was overweight a year ago, but has toned himself down now and playing great basketball and giving UCLA a big lift.
Yeah, Ben Howland told us he fell in love and got fat.
And also he had a double hernia too. And I
too.
think when he had the double hernia, you know, it took a lot of life out of him and gained a lot of weight. And he's rededicated himself and playing terrific basketball, and he's in great physical shape and has had a big year for UCLA.
I'll say.
You know, coming off a big game, and Pullman made 6
Gotta
get
get
threes.
this in. Sorry. You don't see too many guys that are as quick as Collison. I'm not too sure, but the Thomas is not just as quick. Got 9 on the shot clock. They got to recognize here. Thomas recognizes. Almost had it. Looked pretty good when he left his hand. And a loose ball, and let's see. Still no call.
Now, everybody doing the right thing. Now, when the ball's on the ground, let's just dive after it, roll over, and let the official make the call, and it may go to UCLA.
And it does go to UCLA. Yeah, it has been a tough, physical game. That's the right call.
Remember, when you're playing against the Huskies, they are one of the leading rebounding teams in the country. So you've got to hold your own. We thought a big key for Washington was to be chairman of the boards, control the glass, and they have it. Morgan pass. Oh, that was a tremendous pass by Holiday.
And Morgan with the finish. So Morgan with a couple of baskets, giving Ben Howland some help off the bench. Pondexter can't get it. And it's going to be out of bounds to Washington. Right now, UCLA outboarding the Huskies by 3. And a 30-second timeout going to be called by Lorenzo Romar. 37-35 ball game. I mean, it's been a game that's been exactly as advertised.
Yeah, it really has. And UCLA now on a 5-0 run, and I think Lorenzo Romar wanted to burn a 30. Barry, watch the play here. Look at the. Okay, stop it here. Look at this. Look at the pass inside, and beautifully done by Holiday to give it to Morgan for the finish. And I thought a great play by Morgan to catch, not travel, and the peripheral vision by Drew Holiday. Outstanding. Morgan's giving him a lift.
Yeah,
he's come in the game and
question.
got a couple of field goals.
So once again, you know, the Bruins just giving up the ball really well. Both these teams, very unselfish teams, always trying to get the ball to the open guy. There was a play with Drew Holiday moving without the basketball.
Yeah, remember this one here on the dribble, and watch the back cut, and watch that beautiful pass on the back cut. And this was Dragovic. Look at the back cut. Beautifully done to take it all the way to the goal and score. That, again, is massive recognition by UCLA, how the defense is playing it.
About a 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock.
Good steal. Holiday, see if he gives it up, of course.
To Collison for the finish.
You know, this guy Holiday, he's effortless. I mean, he is a smooth player. God, I love his game.
Very talented freshman. Arguably the #1 high school player in the country last year. Well, they leave Thomas. Now he drops down the corner for for Holiday for a wide open tray. My brother can do it. I can do it too.
Bet. Hey, bro, if you can make one, I can do it. And from deep. How do you like it?
What a first half of basketball here. Exactly as we expected. Two good teams playing excellent basketball, particularly on the defensive end. Thomas, I thought, passed up a shot for a wide open Holiday, and he drained it to end the first half. So at the break, the UCLA Bruins 39 and the Washington Huskies 38 in a game that has been a tremendous game right from the get-go. Welcome back. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamity alongside. 1-point ball game at the half. UCLA over the hometown Washington Huskies. A well-played game. Let's take a look, Dan, at some of the numbers. UCLA shooting it at 50%. The Huskies not quite as good. Each team with 7 turnovers. And the rebounds, of course, are a story.
Yeah, big story there. And UCLA controlled the boards, and Washington controlled it inside. So that's a big play. Look at points in the paint for the Huskies, 22. So it's been a well-played first half.
It really was, and I don't expect any different in the second half, and it's a game that is going to be there for either team. We're coming back. We welcome you back. We start the second half with UCLA, a 1-point leader over the Washington Huskies, a 39-38 ball game. Here is our taken away game summary, and both teams took it away on 7 occasions, but really it was only the Washington Huskies that converted off those turnovers. Most of the turnovers, incidentally, it must be said, have been forced. So Taken in theaters Friday. Huskies with the first possession of the second half. Made a big 3 at the end of the first half to make it a 1-point ball game.
They try to go right over the top to Brockman immediately.
And I think they make it a Boya right out of the box here. We'll see. I think it's going to go with Ship, who is guilty of the foul. Well, let's go down right now while we have a moment to Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Yeah, speaking of Josh Ship, I caught up with Coach Romar at halftime, and I had remarked on the fact that they had doubled up on him. He said, yeah, he got away early on us. As far as John Brockman and the success that he had, we were talking about the fact that Washington, as you guys all know, got off to that slow start. He said, yeah, he wasn't establishing himself on that low post like he did later on. Once the Huskies got him the ball, then the game just took off, and it was a completely different game. So always look for John Brockman first and foremost.
All right, thanks, Carissa. It's a new game right now, 39-all. So we basically start from scratch.
Well, as Carissa said, Barry, the whole game revolves around Brockman for the Huskies. They've got to continually look for him as much as they can when they come down the floor. Ooh, good defense there and a good call. Looked like it was definitely off Thomas.
Thomas, though, quick hands. Knocked it out of Drew Holiday's hands. Now Collison matched up with Detman. That's been a good matchup all day, too.
Yeah, high screen and roll. And don't forget Collison. He will get proactive when the Bruins really need him to. He doesn't force it, but came on late in the game against Washington State to make some big scores.
Yeah, he only had 1 field goal for the first, 37 minutes of that game. A little bit of a carry there, I thought, but shot no good. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to tackle him.
But back him down. Well, they had Brockman in, throw it in there.
Thomas tries to penetrate. Thomas in the way, certainly. A foul. Thomas, a very good penetrator, but he can step out and shoot it. Now, he hasn't done that very much today.
Well, what impresses me about Isaiah Thomas, we know he's super quick. He can make the outside shot, but he's strong. I mean, he's a guy that can go around the rim. He can post you up. He can find a way to get to the foul line.
We were talking to him about what his biggest moment was, and he said it didn't happen in the game. He said he played one-on-one with Jamal Crawford and beat him.
Yeah, of course, Jamal Crawford with the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. Now, of course, Jamal went to Michigan and beat Jamal. And, okay.
That's pretty good.
Well, I would say if they played, though, 5 times, he certainly would not win 5.
No, no. Jamal can shoot it a little bit.
I mean, I think Crawford has had a couple of, 40-plus games in the NBA. They
bring a boy away from the basket. Holiday pulls the trigger and scores from three-point range. And there's Toya Holiday, his mom. I mentioned that Sean, the dad, is sitting on the Washington side. Toya, the mom, sitting on the UCLA side. Devin got in the lane. Follow-up. This is by Pondexter. Another follow by Pondexter. And he gets it back a third time.
I mean, talk about relentless on the glass. Well, that's why they lead the nation in a rebound differential. Great job by Quincy Pondexter.
I'll say. Pondexter's really come on since about the midway point of the first half.
He's prime time, and there, get a little foul on him. A good call on Ship.
He didn't agree with it. He thought Ship might have been flailing his elbows a little bit. Look at this. There's one. There's two. There's three.
And there's four.
Come back, get it, finish. That's impressive.
Looked like his dad or his uncle. You know,
That's
Roscoe,
right.
Roscoe goes a magnificent rebound. Clifton, his uncle, when he played at Long Beach, the great Long Beach team back in the early 70s for Lute Olson. I mean, Clifton played so high on the square, it was unbelievable. There's Roscoe, and Roscoe still looks like he can play.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he's right into it.
The other way, Thomas puts it on the floor, drives on Collison, draws the foul on Collison.
Charge the foul number 2, Derek Collison of the Bruins. First personal foul, 3 team fouls on UCLA.
Now, you know, coming out of the out of bounds, they will try to feature Brockman if they can get him. Just turn and see if they can find him in there. He was there. Now they find him.
Draws the foul again. Now let's see who they get.
Now they can either get Holiday, who was close, or Oboye. If it's Oboye, it's going to be his third.
Boya.
Oh, Boya really got cut. Oh, Boya.
That's a headbutt, so we go to the scorer's cards after the 5th round. That's a little boxing joke.
Yeah, no, I've seen a match or two. And this was, I mean, this game is physical here. And yeah, Boya got hit hard.
Did he?
And he's saying, wait, the foul's on me? I mean, I don't quite understand that. Yeah, now you get a great look at it. Yeah, I'm not, you know, I think if you're Ben Howland and the Bruins, you may have a little case there.
44-43 ball game. Bruins by 1 over the Huskies. And Oboye, they are still working on the UCLA bench. Let's take a moment for our Motel 6 sixth man of the game, and it is Michael Roll. And of course, a great shooter from the perimeter, almost 8 points a game this year, playing just under 20 minutes, 53% three-point shooter, and has been a great shooter all along. Was granted another year of eligibility because of that plantar fasciitis last year, caused him to miss the entire season. Incidentally, they called that last foul on Jrue Holiday and not on Oboye, so they didn't add insult to injury. And they still work on Oboye over on the UCLA bench. Brockman gets the first to tie it. The second.
Now Washington doing today from the foul line exactly, Barry, what they did Thursday night. Multiple throws and doing a pretty good job of knocking them down.
Ship, they post him up this time. Lost the handle, gets it back. Trying to back Pondexter down. Now he's got Brockman on him, and the pass bounces off of Gant's chest to Pondexter. Now Thomas. Thomas working on Holiday into the lane, double clutch. Oh, won't go. Again, he had a better look than I think he thought he might have. 3-on-1 the other way. And Ship all the way, gets it.
Good lead pass by Holiday in the open court. Ship, solid game. Got to let it work, because don't forget, Keefe has 3 fouls. So
gets it back, and he's fouled.
That's great recognition by Washington and the bench and the players. The guy guarding him's got 3 fouls. Give him the ball.
Call a foul on Gordon.
How about this outlet, though, by Drew Gordon? He makes this. That's a beautiful outlet pass, and great things happen when Holiday has the ball. And, of course, a nice move to the goal by Ship.
Gordon, meanwhile, picked up his 4th personal foul. This guy's going to be a real factor in this league, though. You can tell he's a freshman, makes some freshman mistakes, but Boy, he's got a great skill set.
Yeah, he does have a good skill set. You know, he's a big-time leaper. He's a guy that can score inside. It just has to, and they gave him a tough assignment. You know, go in there and guard John Brockman and see if you can contain him. So Gordon will pick up his fourth. Keefe also comes out of the game.
Morgan comes back into the ballgame, and offensively, he's done a very nice job for Ben Holiday. Ben Holiday. How am I doing? There's too many holidays in this game. Ben Howland. Every day is a holiday.
It's all right, Barry. I had Virginia Tech winning at Georgetown and not at Wake. So that's okay. It's an exciting game.
Ooh, quick foul. Quick whistle on Dentman. That's his third.
Joseph foul number 5, Justin Hetman of the Huskies. Third personal foul. 2 team fouls on Washington.
And Justin Holiday will come back into the Washington lineup, and Pondexter will leave. Pondexter's had a very nice game. Dentman has picked up, as we said, his third personal foul. First one in a long time. Chip comes baseline. Brockman cuts him off. Now Collison drives on Dentman. Shot missed. Brian Ammoning pulls down the rebound.
Brian Ammoning, I mean, big time on the glass. Talk about super improvement from last year to this year. Ammoning is a real factor in the game. Look at this pass by Holiday.
And one.
What a play by Justin. I can get it inside Holiday, and of course, the finish again by Brockman. Holiday, every time he comes in the game, he does something good.
There's his dad, Sean. He's the guy that's sitting in the Washington section. So he's going to cheer for Justin Holiday when we come back. We're going to talk to Toya Holiday. Is this a woman who has reason to be proud? I'd say so. We're coming back. Huskies lead it by 2, and here is our World Financial Group Dreams Realized profile. What a family profile this is. Giroux Holiday, of course, the freshman guard at UCLA. His brother Justin Holiday shared a bedroom for a long time. They had bunks, one on top, one on the bottom, and they used to switch off just to be even. Right now, let's go to Carissa Thompson, who is with Toya Holiday.
That's right, and Toya out there wants to know what you're going through. Your boys meet on the court for the first time. What is this like for you?
I'm actually really excited. Now that you said something to me, I have tears in my eyes. Is this just not a blessing that I have these? I can't believe that I want to cry now. That I am just so excited. My husband and I feel blessed, grateful that our kids even have this opportunity.
Exactly. So you win either way, no matter what this outcome is.
I'm going to win.
Okay, real quickly, I want to know how you decided who's going to root for which team.
Sean and I actually picked teams, and he picked UW and I picked UCLA, and so
there you go.
That's why I'm on
Well,
their side.
congratulations. It's definitely fun, I'm sure, to see both your boys out here.
Thank you so much.
Guys?
All right, thanks, Carissa. And there's a look at Sean Holiday. He's sitting in the Washington section. Toya sitting in the UCLA section. I think they called the technical foul on Aboya. And so Dentman is going to go to the free throw line. Not sure what he said. And that is his third foul. He picks up a personal foul in addition because of the technical. This is a very critical point in this game. Dentman makes both of the free throws.
All right, there it is right there. And I think that is your technical. Right there. Well, you know, he may have said something inappropriate as he came by, and
yeah, he got banged.
And then you go technical. After the technical, you go back to point of interruption. Who had the ball? And UCLA had the ball, because you don't automatically get it out at half court. So the Bruins will retain possession after the 2 shots by Washington.
And that could be a very costly technical because it was 2 points the other way. Prior to the technical foul, the Bruins would have had the ball and a 3-point lead. Now it's a 1-point game. This is Anderson being fouled. Holiday. And a rebound down to Brian Ammoning. Ammoning ahead to Thomas. Thomas gets into the lane again. The left hand will go to the line.
Well, he has the knack of drawing fouls in traffic. I mean, clearly a little guy that plays big. I mean, look at him. The guy's 5'8", but he can get right in the lane being guarded by a 6'4" player and can hang and find a way to get to the foul line.
Yeah, great body control. Roll the first one in.
If you're UCLA coming back on this possession, you've got Darren Collison out of the game. So I'm sure Drew Holiday, now he took the last jumper, but he's a guy that has to get proactive when he comes down the floor. I mean, you don't have your go-to point guard in the ball game, so it'll be interesting how the Bruins can handle it without Collison directing the show.
So Jeremy Anderson will handle the ball across the timeline.
I think Holiday's got to make a play.
Guarded by his brother. All those hours of games in the driveway in Chatsworth, sure, racing through their minds. That's Anderson and a foul on Dentman, and that's going to be his 4th. We're at Bank of America Arena here in Seattle. We're on the University of Washington campus. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamity telling you all about it. This game for first place in the Pac-10 Conference. Carissa Thompson is also with us, tied at 52. And this is a game that has a March feel to it.
Yeah, it really does. It's if you said, well, it's a Pac-10 tournament semifinal game, you'd say, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So significantly, Dentman will have to go to the bench with 4 fouls.
Yeah, that might give Jeremy Anderson a little bit of confidence. It's good to see him come in, a young guy. You know, he's maybe a little bit nervous. He gets to that foul line, made a good move to the goal, and he makes 1 of 2.
Gives his team the lead by a point. This is Justin Holiday, and now his brother Giroux is guarding.
It's going to be interesting, too, Barry. No Brockman in the game for the Huskies. Well, do you think Isaiah Thomas is going to have to try to make something happen?
Well, he's going to go for 3.
And he did. On cue. Brockman loves it. And I think Lorenzo can't forget about Brockman. You know, he's saying, Coach, I'm here. That was a great shot, wasn't it, Coach? I need to get back in.
And a timeout called by Ben Howland. 12 minutes and 3 seconds remaining to be played. It's been a seesaw game. Right now, it's the Washington Huskies on top of the UCLA Bruins, 55-53. We're coming back. Huskies lead it by a pair, 55-53. Plenty of time, 12:03 remaining to be played in the ball game.
Well, you see UCLA breaking the huddle, and what they did, Ben Howland has moved the benches all the way out so guys can sit about 10 or 15 feet from where they normally sit because he didn't want the crowd bothering them. You know, you're going to make a point to your team. Let's bring them all the way out on the floor. You've got the Washington crowd directly behind you. Many of them are students, so it's a good opportunity for the coaching staff to make a point. That's why they are sitting quite a ways away from where they normally do.
And Ben Howland quickly will get Collison back in, and he delivered the ball beautifully to Dragovic, but they couldn't finish.
Yeah, a little bit surprised there that Dragovic didn't just drop it in. Perfect pass.
Meantime, Lo Romar keeping Brockman on the bench and getting him what I'm sure will be a final blow. Thomas goes behind his back.
Thomas Thomas is so quick there, he may fake out his own teammates.
Oh,
That's a
he
travel.
moved the pivot foot.
That is
Yep.
definitely a good call.
So Pondexter had the wrong foot going in the wrong direction. 55-53. Huskies lead it. We'll be back. We welcome you back. There's a guy who can play a little bit of basketball, played great here in the NBA. That's Detlef Schrempf. And right now, let's take it to Carissa Thompson with more on a very talented freshman.
That's right, and with a name like Isaiah Thomas, there's that certain pressure already built in to be a good basketball player. And I spoke with Isaiah during a shoot-around, and I said, you know, what's the biggest thing you've learned so far? He said patience, first and foremost. And he also talks to Brandon Roy, as we know, who just had his jersey retired here on Thursday. He talks or texts with him almost every day. And Roy's advice to Thomas is always just bring a winner's mentality. A lot of advice from John Brockman, who says, control the things you can control, guys.
Yeah, that's always been the phrase that Brockman has lived by.
And you know, Barry, if Isaiah Thomas is talking to anybody, Brandon Roy's a great guy to talk to.
I'll say.
You know, a quality guy on the floor, but more importantly off the floor, just a super human being. Stayed here the 4 years. And having an unbelievable career for the Portland Trailblazers.
I'll say he is. Dragovic missed a three a moment ago, but the long rebound came right back to him and gives the Bruins a second chance. There's a boy trying to face up on Brockman and does. Again, that's a shot they'll give him all day. Here's Thomas on the outlet. 2-on-2. Thomas in the middle. And Thomas in traffic that time. A great job by Roll to get all ball.
One thing you know about Isaiah Thomas in the open court, and if you're defending him, and I thought Roll recognized it, he is not going to pull it out. If he's got even numbers or the numbers are not his way, Isaiah Thomas is going to force the action and try to take it hard to the rim. Try to reverse it and find Brockman back in the game.
We'll get back over here to the near side to Pondexter. Run Brockman off the baseline. He was there.
He was there, and it passed him up.
Well, here's an open three.
Oh, my God. You know what? Quincy Pondexter said I had Brockman, but you know what? Thomas has been going good, so
why not?
Why not?
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Huskies, 5 points, 15 in the game for Thomas. Jrue Holiday kick out open, Dragovic three. Good play by Holiday. Boy, both these teams are so well coached. They recognize the mismatch. They recognize the open man. I mean, you know, again, you hate to use a cliche, but it's one of those games that nobody's going to lose. Somebody's just going to step up and win it.
Somebody's going to step up and make big shots. And we knew it would be a solid second half. Both teams substituted freely in the first half. Should be well rested coming down the stretch in the last 10 minutes. Good steal, throw it ahead.
Sure was. Dragovic got the steal. He's ahead of everybody to the basket.
Now how about Dragovic? Makes a three, runs the floor. He's just in much better physical condition. I mean, he looked quick going down the floor. Couldn't say that a year ago.
They have Brockman again. They have him again, and they don't go to him. They bring Pondexter across the paint, and he makes it count. Back to a 2-point lead for the Huskies. And you have an idea it's going to be that way all the way down the stretch here.
And I have a hunch that Darren Collison's going to get a little more proactive as this game wears on. You know, he'll demand the ball and try to make something happen. Great pass again by Holiday.
It
just
was.
couldn't finish it.
Did finish the shot, but it was a result of a great pick. Thomas open, long three.
Are you serious?
Why not?
Are you kidding me?
Listen to the crowd.
Isaiah from deep. I guess he's in rhythm. What do you think?
I think he might be. He's got 18 and his team leads by 5. No, you can't stop IT, at least not at the moment. Well, he was going to the basket consistently before. Now he's taking that step back.
And the other thing, Barry, you know he feels it. He made the last three, and he's saying, you know, I got it going. Don't forget, he's a young man, had 51 in a high school championship game. So he's used to scoring. He wants the ball. But what you love about him, he doesn't force it. He's just smooth and efficient and doing a beautiful job for the Huskies.
Absolutely, and I think we really saw that Thursday night against USC because the Trojans really shut him down in the first half. He didn't force any shots. He didn't do anything he should be doing. The game came to him, and of course he wound up with 13 points in the ball game, played a great second half. See the numbers on him right now. He's got 18, 3 of 7 from three-point range. Been a factor on the defensive end, and he's had to step up because his backcourt mate Justin Denman has 4 fouls. That's Cameron Dollar, the lead assistant coach for Lorenzo Romar, and a pretty darn good point guard in his own right.
I'd say Cameron was a fair to middling player at UCLA.
On the national championship team. Block foul on Overton.
Only the 4th team foul by the Huskies. So UCLA, you know, Washington's got fouls to take, the Bruins don't.
3rd foul on Overton.
Interesting enough too, Barry, Collison not in the game. So this is a big possession here. And you know Josh Shipp is having an outstanding afternoon trying to make something happen. Oh, look out
There's
here.
a loose ball. Overton gonna take it by Anderson to the basket. He missed the shot, but a foul. Got Jeremy Anderson on the foul. Overton will go to the line.
It's like the Huskies are kind of jet patrol. I mean, they are super fast. I mean, they're backcourt.
Well, both these teams are quick on quick. Collison prepares to come back into the ballgame now, and he's going to bring Michael Roll with him for the UCLA Bruins. And Overton converts. Overton has really been a factor in this game, as he was on Thursday night, too. They had 6 points, but there were 2 crucial threes at a time when USC was going boxing 1 on Justin Denman. Take a look at our Quiznos game summary on three-point field goal shooting. 4 of 10 for the Huskies, 8 of 18. Most of those by Josh Shipp. And Washington now on a 7-0 run over the last minute and change.
Yeah, Collison back. And I think if you're Darren Collison right now, you've got to be proactive.
Biggest lead of the ball game right now for the Huskies.
Trying to find him.
And Holiday fouled.
Number
15 foul on the Huskies, so out of bounds underneath. Collison to trigger. Remember, they love to lob to Holiday, or they might just go right back to Collison on the out of bounds. Easy roll. That's a very good out of bounds play. UCLA has really been efficient on their underneath out of bounds.
We mentioned earlier, they work on that harder than any team I've ever seen.
And you know it's tough to defend. They give you the same set every time. So, they got a lot of variations off of it.
So the lead now 5. Overton penetrates, kick out Pondexter, had a good look from 3, and he got a little pass that time. Roll steps in the passing lane. Here comes the Bruins.
Being guarded by Gant. Good opportunity. I thought Collison might use the dribble against a bigger man.
Foul is on Pondexter. Well, the Bruins trying to do what they have not been able to do in the last 4 times they've been here. That is win a basketball game. They trail by 5. Huskies lead by 5. Plenty of basketball remaining to be played. This, of course, the battle for first place in the Pac-10 Conference. Both these teams came in here 5-1. Arizona State just half a game behind at 5-2. And the Bears of California licking their wounds a little bit after having been beaten by Craig Robinson's Oregon State Beavers on Thursday night. Here's what's happening later on today. USC will be across the state of Washington at Pullman. try to make amends for what happened here on Thursday night. Oregon is at Cal, and Cal, as we said, going to be licking its wounds. Houston plays out of the, Arizona plays out of the conference against Houston.
And Stanford playing very well, Barry. Of course, they've got Oregon State tonight, so Stanford really has done a pretty good job. And you know, they get the big win against Cal a week ago, and they've kind of been right on cue and took care of Oregon on Thursday. So Stanford's tough to handle, quick and athletic. Speaking
Thomas
of quick
is open
and
again.
athletic.
Not this time. Collison the rebound and a grab foul. And they're going to get Pondexter on the grab. It's going to be Pondexter's third.
And now, 7th team foul. So you're going to put the leading free throw shooter, or one of the leading free throw shooters for UCLA at the line in Michael Roll. And I thought that was a big key for Washington. You certainly don't want to get rolled to the line. Of course, Collison leads the nation in free throw shooting.
So Roll at the line, gets the first. Makes it a 4-point ball game. 7 minutes, 9 seconds remaining in this battle for first place. Hit every side of it, but went down. And Shipp will come back and Roll will leave. Shipp, the leading scorer in the ball game, with 20. Keefe will also come back, and Dragovic will leave. Dragovic, a factor on Thursday night and a factor here again today.
Overton has done a great job at the point. Of course, Detman does have a 4th foul. That was beautifully done, well executed, great pass inside, and a nice job. And who made the pass?
Justin Holiday.
Again. One thing I will tell you, that both Holiday brothers, they have a wonderful feel for the game.
Look out, open 3 for Shipp, missed the shot. See Thomas get up for that rebound, he get it.
And a good job by James Keefe, the 5th, by the way, Gary.
That's right.
Barry.
5 other James. 4 other James.
See if Holiday looks right back at him again.
Well, he had him there for a second.
Well, he'll find him.
He did.
He's a good passer.
That was a great defensive job. Aboya and Keefe all over Brockman. Collison the other way, foul. And they'll get Thomas on that one. That's Thomas's 3rd foul. Remember, Justin Detman on the bench with 5, and I would think Lorenzo Romar would like to keep him there for what, another couple minutes?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, you
with
would.
4, I said.
And of course, you know, Collison is so quick in the open floor. Of course, we know his mom and dad were outstanding track and field athletes. June and Dennis were
Guyana.
All-Americans. They represented Guyana. We went to Adelphi. And of course, June ran the 400 meters, and Dennis ran the 200. June participated in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles, and his dad, Dennis, in the Pan Am Games. So it's no real surprise. And this is one of the quality young men around. I'm telling you, he's just an outstanding person.
How about the high school team he came off of? Etowanda.
Yeah, Etowanda.
Jeff Pendergraft was there.
Yeah, many guys got scholarships off that Etowanda team. And of course, Pendergraft, a great year so far for Arizona State. But Darren, and always says hello to you, always has that nice smile on his face and under control. And one of the premier players in the Pac-10 conference.
Well, we've been talking about Darren Collison, and you got to put him up there amongst the elites at the point guard position in America this college basketball season. Collison's got the great quicks. He wants the ball when it gets to crunch time. Plenty of other good point guards around though.
Well, there sure are. And of course, you know, Darren is just an outstanding player. How about Jeff Teague? What a year he is having at Wake Forest. I mean, Teague has been sensational, and Fields at Pitt. Fields is a senior. He does a beautiful job of running that team. And of course, Ty Lawson at North Carolina just has done a magnificent job in his own right. There's so many great point guards. Johnny Flynn at Syracuse has done a beautiful job, and so many good guys, Barry. And I think you got to put Stephen Curry. I know Stephen Curry is not a true point. He's a combo guy, but at Davidson leading the country in scoring.
There's Overton. 1-point ball game, 6 minutes remaining to be played. Thomas just works the dribble. Good switch that time by the Bruins. Thomas comes all the way through, leaves for Overton. Overton steps in, leaves for Brian Ammoning. Can't finish. Rockman to follow. No. Ammoning again. Foul from behind by Collison.
Yeah, Collison doesn't think so. I thought a beautiful pass inside on a penetration, and of course Washington taking the advantage on the glass, especially in the second half. A good catch by Ammoning. He's got to finish that play when he's right around the boards, and again goes right back up and is picked from underneath. And the foul call.
Got his bell rung also. I don't know if all the cobwebs are gone yet. But again, here's a guy who was really struggling with the free throw line up until Thursday night. He was perfect Thursday night. He comes in here, sticks that one, looks pretty good doing it.
Yeah, Brian, of course, is from London, England, and participated in the under-20 European Championships for England. Had 41, by the way, against the Czech Republic. So, and he has come a long way. He's another one that's just made. One thing about Lorenzo's players, they seem to. Brandon Roy, a perfect example, seem to get better and better and better every year.
Well, another example, Justin Holiday is a perfect example of that. He's a much better player this year, and he's going to be a very productive player before he's all done. There's Collison now, and Overton has the task of guarding Collison. He takes in baseline, pulls up, won't go, and the rebound down to Holiday. Overton trying to go behind the back.
How did he do that? How did Overton do that, Barry?
And he finally draws a foul on Chip. I think he got away with one, to tell you the truth.
I don't know. I think Brockman loved it. He went over and said, I've never seen that before. Watch Overton on a dead run go behind his back and regain possession, and then a foul. A little bit of a bump by Chip. Overton said, well, I still got it.
Overton shooting 2.
So Overton will shoot 2. He drops the first one, 4-point lead. Overton now in double figures with 10. Keefe comes back. Dragovich leaves for UCLA.
And remember, Barry, Overton doesn't start.
That's right.
You talk about an energizer off the bench, and here the Huskies doing it again. 26 free throws made. So, you know what, they're just doing a great job at the line. Against USC, they made 32 of 40 from the foul line. Here's a team 9th place in the Pac-10 Conference in free throw shooting.
Well, it's not a fluke. I mean, they take it to the basket. They take it to the basket hard. Brockman is a load down low. Brian Ammoning has been getting fouled with some consistency this year. And now Pondexter has just picked up his 4th. So you got Denman on the bench with 4. Pondexter with 4. For the Bruins, Gordon has 4. We haven't seen him for quite a while. And now Denman's going to come back. Probably a little bit earlier, I would think, than Lorenzo would have liked to have brought him back. 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes remaining.
Still a 1-1, so you have to be mentally alert now. Everybody on the lane.
And he misses it, and stepping into the lane is Justin Holiday. Again, Justin Holiday has been a complimentary player today and done all those little things. And Lorenzo Omar wants a timeout. He has the ball. His team has the lead by 4. Very big possession. I think probably a good timeout here called by Lorenzo to draw something up that he thinks will work and try to expand this lead.
So what do you think? What play are they going to here, Barry? I'm going to quiz you.
I think they'll drop it down to Brockman. If it's there, he'll take it. If not, he'll kick it out.
I think Brockman is the pivotal player. And, of course, Lorenzo Omar, sensing the moment, said, you know, we've got the lead. We're in the double bonus. Now, Brockman, not a great free throw shooter, but better of late. And you're going to go to your main man coming out. And if you're UCLA and you're Ben Holland, you're thinking maybe we double inside, we give him a variation on the man-to-man, get a little bit more aggressive, and see if we can turn him over.
Carissa.
Well, guys, earlier you were talking about what a team that this Husky unit is, and during halftime I was waiting to talk to Coach Romar, and I was standing there, and John Brockman led a cheer. He said, you know, team on 3, and then followed that up by we do everything as a team before they took the court. It's just a testament to kind of this whole unit, and hopefully they finish off this game that way.
Yeah, you know, that's absolutely true. And again, we mentioned this earlier, but it is such an intangible. And I think every coach obviously wants that kind of cohesion, but sometimes you just get a blend of players who where there's individual factions and you just can't help it. That is not the case with this Huskies team. And you mentioned earlier, not the case with the Bruins either.
Well, John said yesterday, he told me that there's less pressure on him this year than last year because he's got more weapons and doesn't feel like he's got to do it all.
4 on the shot clock, and Dedmon has to pull the trigger. And I'm not sure he recognized that. And steals the ball.
Oh, coming from now that doesn't happen very often against Darren Collison.
Took it right away from Collison. Dedmon had a good look, thought better of it. Now he steps in at the free throw line and scores.
You know what you love about that? Dedmon said, I'm not going to take the quick shot. I'm going to run the motion. I'm not going to charge. I'm under control. And I'd like to pass it to Brockman, but I'm wide open. What a play.
And the Huskies on a 5-0 run at a critical time in the ball game, and the crowd is into it. And a good time out here. Ben Howland will try to settle his team down. They're certainly not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination, but a 6-point lead at this juncture is pretty good.
Yeah, here's what triggered it. Just a good job to get back in the action. And Ben Howland said he could not believe what happened. You don't normally pick Darren Collison. And then this is the beautiful under control move by Dedmon to get into the lane and make a nice decision. He wanted to give it up inside, but you know he's wide open for about an 8-footer and knocks it down.
Well, Lorenzo Romar told us that last year he was thinking too much. He was thinking about, who do I pass to? Do I take this shot? Do I give the ball up? And now he's taken that pressure off of him because of the talented freshman Isaiah Thomas, and it's left him to just worry about making baskets. And he's doing it, and he's doing it with great consistency. Once more, here is our Quiznos game summary and three-point shooting. You can see UCLA 8 of 19. Washington not shooting that many of them, 4 of 12, 33%. Free throws, well, that's where the big difference in the ball game is, as the Huskies have 18 more points at the free throw line. And that's a big factor. And there's a guy who's going to be a fixture here in Seattle for many years to come, Steve Sarkisian, formerly the offensive coordinator for Pete Carroll at USC, now the head football coach at the University of Washington. He gave a little talk to the fans here at halftime and talked about the dog pound coming out to Husky Stadium this football season. Husky football has been a way of life here for a long time, kind of fallen off the map in the last several years. Big possession right here for the Bruins. And they got Dedmon with 4 fouls guarding Collison. And a steal by Dedmon comes behind the back. Dedmon with Ship on the wing. Dedmon to the basket. Couldn't get it to go. He'll go to the free throw line. Did everything he could. And the foul is on Chip. It'll be his 3rd personal foul. Dedmon, a great free throw shooter, will go to the line to try to extend this lead to 7 or 8. We'll be back. Huskies lead it by 6 with a chance to extend. Barry Tompkins along with Dan Belwamity, the coach, and Carissa Thompson. And it has been a sensational basketball game so far. And big significant factor is Washington +7 on the boards in the second half. Carissa Thompson.
Absolutely, just one of the many things they're doing. I had talked to Coach Romar before the game, and he seemed very cool and collected. I'm like, you're very calm. He just kind of smiled, and I asked him, you know, obviously this game for outright first place in the Pac-10, I said, what would be the key? He said, we got to get those open shots against this tough defense of UCLA. They're definitely doing that, and he re-emphasized that again at halftime, guys, when he made the point that the reason they hadn't put any points up on the board early on is because they weren't getting the ball down low to John Brockman. They're kind of doing it all over right now.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you, Carissa. And Dedmon converts them both and gives the Huskies an 8-point lead, which equals their biggest of the ball game.
And Barry, remember Dedmon against USC on Thursday night, 11 for 11 from the foul line. So they want the ball in his hands late.
6 of 6 today. Ship comes up short. Brockman snatches the rebound. And now the Huskies with a chance to really put their foot on the throat of the UCLA Bruins.
They really do. But Washington's got the hammer right now. If they can control, be selective, and I would attack in to out and let Brockman touch it, which they do.
Get it to Brockman. He draws a double team.
Smothering double team. Good
Sure
job
was.
to get it out.
Thomas gets it back. Nice pass to Detman. Now 8 on the shot clock, 7 on the shot clock. Detman steps in, double clutch, score!
In college basketball, you cannot have enough great guards. And the Huskies have 3 of them.
Dragovic with a long 3. Collison gets it back, lost the handle, picked up by Gant. 2:35, Huskies by 10 with the ball.
Gotta back it out.
Well, he started to go baseline. He thought better of it.
He thought about it, and he said, "I think I can make this shot," but on second thought,
he's a very smart player for a freshman.
He's a real smart player. Now, this young man right here, Isaiah Thomas, understands the game.
Brockman comes out, so it's a high pick. Got 5 on the shot clock. Thomas had the shot blocked, but a foul. Got a lot of ball, but must have gotten him on the arm. Here's that sequence the last time down with Detman.
Well, Detman is just a player that can beat you outside, but has a great knack to take it in, much like Isaiah Thomas. I mean, they're similar in the sense they've got good long-range ability, but they're quick and active. And Detman is really flourishing this year. I mean, he is just, and I think Isaiah's taken a lot of pressure off him, and so does Vanoy Overton when he comes in the game.
How about the balance, though? 5 players in double figures now for the Huskies.
They have all kinds of games. Thomas 18, Brockman 18, Detman 12, Overton 10, Pondexter a quiet 10, but efficient at the defensive end and has not taken many shots. But I think Pondexter's done a good job.
And the Huskies lead it by 11. Roll for 3. Comes up short, and they got to do that now. Great rebound by Brockman, and good play to get it in the hands of Holiday.
Back it out. I think you better back it out.
There's Thomas. Thomas starts the baseline. Now give it up to Detman. Try to use the clock, and finally a foul taken by Roll. Bruins were trying to foul earlier, and the Huskies just wouldn't let them. Listen to the crowd. Boy, I can remember when this place was just a tomb. And now it is alive, and all the coaches agree, along with Matt Cord at Oregon, maybe the 2 toughest places to play in the conference.
This is a very tough place to play, and I really believe it's 3 to 4 points here for the crowd. I mean, that's how much of a lift that they give their team, the way they come out, and they're very boisterous and do a great job. They got the students right behind the benches, and they're here. I mean, they're sleeping overnight for this one, and Lorenzo Romar's really got it going.
Well, it really does. And this team, again, falls into the who to thunk it category. Remember, they lost to Portland State to start this season. And nobody was expecting very much, especially when they got clocked by Kansas. But after that Kansas game, they played a close game and a loss to Florida. And since that time, haven't looked back. And they lead it now by 13 with 1:36 to go. And of course, the Huskies are trying to add to a number that was pretty impressive coming into the fact that they had beaten UCLA in this building 4 times in a row. And right now, Danny, it looks for all the world as though it's going to be 5.
Well, I think the big key here, and you see last year, Washington winning 71 to 61 and controlled the tempo of the game. And the Bruins have really had a hard time. A great UCLA team, a team that went to the Final Four. You see Pondexter and, getting everybody going, and certainly Brockman, a wonderful win, and they've won here 4 consecutive times. And I really think today, Brockman coming back and being a factor. Don't forget, no field goals against USC, and he was huge in this game. And the guard play. The guard, no question, Washington won the battle of the backcourts in this particular game.
Well, I don't think UCLA oftentimes will find a backcourt that is as quick as theirs is, and I think that was a factor here today. I don't think they can outquick the backcourt of the Huskies. Collison guarded by Overton, and he just dribbled it off his foot. It's been a tough day.
I have never seen that. And they're going to give it back to UCLA. It looked like it went off of Collison's foot, but somebody may have touched it. May not have been Collison's foot who the ball went out, but it sure looked like it.
This is Anderson. Anderson has it knocked away, picks it up, and finger rolls it home.
That was impressive. That's a nice move by Anderson.
Ben Holland going to take a 30-second timeout. He doesn't usually have timeouts left at this juncture of the game.
Well, he saved, yeah, normally Ben takes timeouts a little bit earlier, but a good move here to save some, trying to stop the clock, get in a defensive mode. Now, UCLA does not have any timeouts after this, and you take a look at that reset. Both teams from now on in a double bonus. And remember, Barry, California won here in triple overtime against the team you're seeing today, a very good Washington team. So that should be a great game coming up, California and UCLA.
Well, this conference this year, very, very balanced. And we're seeing a good example of that.
Yeah, you could have a team in the Pac-10 tournament come from way back to win it. I mean, not out of the question, because you certainly the conference lost a ton of good players, Barry, from a year ago. When you think about it, players like O.J. Mayo, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, Robin and Brooke Lopez, Jared Bayless, Ryan Anderson,
Kyle Weaver,
Luke Richard, Umbal Mute. So you know there was a ton of guys that left. Still, the conference very competitive.
Collison can't get the three to go, and Jrue Holiday gives him a second chance. Anderson misses a three. Collison puts it home.
No timeout, so you got to get after it. You got to make a quick foul here. Cannot let too much time expire.
And Collison reaches in, grabs Justin Dentman. So Dentman will go to the line. Dentman 8 of 8 today, 8 of 8 on Thursday night. So that, let me see, mathematics tells me that's 16 of 16.
8 of 8 or 11 of 11.
11 of 11.
Maybe an 11
right.
of 11.
So 19 of 19. And for those of you in Arizona, we will be going to that game right now. Rest of you stick around.
Number 20, Quincy Poindexter, replacing Benoit Overton.
Justin Dentman now 9 of 9 today. They were 32 of 40 on Thursday night in a win against USC, and 34 of 40, now 35 of 41 today. And remember, they came into this weekend as the number 9 free throw shooting team in the conference.
Not anymore.
No.
That's history. Look at the quick hands again by Thomas. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Well, Thomas finishes it, and this one is absolutely on ice. Huskies lead it by 15. Ship coming the other way, and they're going to foul maybe on Poindexter. No, they're going to call it on Brockman. Thomas with 23 points in the ball game.
But very disruptive, and that's the thing you look at with the Huskies. Their guards are terrific defenders, and Thomas, at about 5'8", a big-time finisher with the great hands, ability to shoot on the outside.
Well, again, you know, Thomas has 23, and you hate to refer to it as a quiet 23. It really wasn't that, but you know, again, nothing forced, nothing. It's not like he's trying to score.
Well, I thought what happened in the first half, he missed a few threes and kind of backed off, but as soon as he made one, then he made another one, and he really got it going.
Thomas again, grabbed by Anderson. 41 seconds. They had Brockman down the floor, but Thomas couldn't get it to him. Should things stay like this, it would be the biggest UCLA loss this year. Previously, a 4-point loss to Texas was their biggest loss, and a tough day.
Yeah, a real tough day, and I really thought, and you talk to all the UCLA players, and you talk to the coaching staff, Barry, that they felt a critical game for them on this road trip. Don't forget they had lost a road game in the conference, was Thursday night. They knew today was going to be really tough.
Just took John Brockman out of the ball game, and the fans, of course, on their feet with a standing O. This was a terrific win at home for the Washington Huskies. 1 out of 2 for Thomas. Collison incidentally fouled out of the game. Ship throws up a 3 and knocks it down, so showing you he can still shoot it. Thomas again, now they'll just let him go. Here's Poindexter, and Poindexter leaves it for Dentman. Dentman to back it out.
Yeah, that's a smart move. That is a classy move by the Huskies. Back it out. You don't need any more points. And I don't think UCLA will get too overzealous here and foul. Just a great win for the Huskies. I didn't think UCLA played poorly
And then a turnover.
I think Washington just took the game away from them with their great backcourt play.
And it's going to be out of bounds to Washington with 6.7 seconds. The final insult for the UCLA Bruins, and a tremendous win for the Washington Huskies today here in Seattle.
Yeah, and of course, really fueled by their crowd and John Brockman, and certainly a great win. And Darren Collison will come back. I know Darren Collison did not have a big afternoon, but he's an unbelievable player. And the Bruins don't get this one, but the Huskies, let's face it, they deserved it. They played great basketball here this afternoon.
They've been playing great basketball for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and this is a team that you're going to have to start to look at very seriously in the Pac-10 Conference now. Right now, they have the undisputed lead in the Pac-10. They are 6-1 and 15-4 overall. Arizona State and UCLA are there for second. If Cal wins tonight, they're tied for second as well. Final score once more, the hometown Washington Huskies 86, UCLA 75. For Dan Belwamity, Carissa Thompson, and our entire crew, I'm Barry Tompkins saying so long, everybody, from Seattle.